Broadcasting from the heart of the continental United States and sailing the steel breeze of the World Wide Web, this is our Thursday Night Nexus. Good evening, y'all. All right, welcome to the Nexus. Oh, we don't have a background. Where's our background? Don't have a background. There's the background. There's the background. Welcome to the Nexus, folks. James here at the Idol Smasher. Thank you so much for stopping by. Glad to have you. Another Thursday night, another time to just kind of sit and discuss Torah from a Ben Noach, a Ger Toshav, a Ger, a Noahide, whatever you want to call me, the non-Jew who clings to Torah, and indeed the Jewish people as well. Glad to have you here every Thursday night. We are here broadcasting live from Rumble, or from Rumble Studio, but you can find us on X and on YouTube as well. In fact, YouTube has a long library of hangouts, some a little more wild and crazy than others. And we've been doing this a long time, and you're always invited to join. So right now, we're going to copy the link to join and put it here in the live chat for all to join who would like to join in on a biblical discussion. You don't even need a camera. You do need a microphone. And you're always welcome. Everybody's welcome here. In the description, you'll find a link to the Torah portion, which we will be discussing today. And Rosalie is going to be stopping by a little later on. She said she's running a bit late. Hopefully, maybe even we might get John to stop by. Who knows? He might see us over here and try the Rumble. He says it doesn't work well with his phone. Apps, I'm not a big fan of apps anyway. I'm more of a program guy on a server, on a computer than an app guy on a system. But hey, whatever you need and whatever it takes. Got a lot going on. What are we going to call this? We need marketing. I always hear that Israel has terrible marketing. Well, God's our marketing. Let's move on. Well, the marketing we get on God here in the West is not always good marketing. So you need something more, perhaps something a little basic or more basic. So with what's going on over right now over in Israel and what's happening with the Gazans and the Palestinian people and the civilized Muslim Arab world standing up and saying it's enough. It's enough. It's time for Hamas to just get out and never return. Not the Gazan people who are getting aid when Hamas doesn't take it from them. I'm going to talk on that too. We're going to touch on that too. And before we get to the Parsha, before we get to the Torah portion. But I'm thinking the Gaza Aliyah Gaza, huh? It's okay. But you're returning finally. See, you're returning to Gaza. It was always part of the covenant. It was always there for you guys. Now you're going to make a return, as it should be. Frankly, I was getting married and my head was elsewhere in the world. I was just surviving, getting by and day to day, and I didn't really take time to study Torah much at that point. I had no idea that Israel just gave up the Gaza Strip. Philistia, the shrunken Philistia. I had no idea they just pulled all the way out. No one had ever told me that they just pulled out completely and said you can have your own thing. Forced Jews out, mind you. By force. This is government force, which military basically, police. Get out. You cannot be here. No, The first thing they did, they had so many botanicals growing in Gaza. It was going to be one of the greatest botanical resources for flowers from around the world and in that region because the soil is so good. And they had greenhouses everywhere. First thing Hamas did when they came into power was tear down every single greenhouse in that entire area. It's the size of Washington, D.C. It's pretty big. Tore it all down. And to youngins out there who don't understand, this has aged quite good. This was back in 2021 after Joe Biden unleashed, this was, I think this was 2021. When Biden gave him just a boatload of money and That's true. One's Israel, one's. It's like what these are the people they're fighting, and this is why it has to be a war. They won't stop. And if you sympathize for Hamas, okay, a war zone is terrible to live in. Children should not have to grow up in that. Okay, but war is. It still is, and it has been since Genesis 14. Okay. But if you sympathize with Hamas, just it's over. It's over. I know you want to have sympathy for the Gazan people. We all want to have sympathy for the Gazan people. We have sympathy, but I have a solution maybe that might help some. If anybody over there in Gaza happens to be tuning into the Nexus, you have better things you probably are doing right now. But I have an idea for those nearby who want to help them. You need to teach them Kung Fu. That's what you need to do. You need to teach them Kung Fu. They need Kung Fu. They have no Kung Fu. I've seen Hamas come up and beat people off of the trucks that have aid. I've seen it happen. I've seen people just go take the aid and drive off. Just take it. They don't distribute it to the people. They just drive off with it. Take it. They sell it back to them at a higher price or put it on the black market and make money so they can build more bombs. It's what they've been doing. And nobody likes these people. Nobody likes Hamas, except the Iranian regime, and Persians are sick of their bullshit too. Yeah, they got a lot of suckers, but hey, you. Someone is upset. So teach them Kung Fu. If they had any kind of skill, these people, you need to teach them some skill because you could fight these guys off. I've seen how they do things, and really, it's not hard. It really isn't hard. It might cost you some, but man, they come up and steal your stuff, and you just that you let them beat you up. Beat them back. Take the stick out of his hand and beat it with him. There's enough of you, and you're worthy of that aid. You shouldn't have to live in a world where you're lied to every day and you're taught violence from a child to your neighbor. Nobody likes you. And I saw Candace Owens has a United States flag right next to a Palestine flag, which is a ripoff of I don't need Jordan. Actually, it's a ripoff of several Arab nations. On the left side, okay. When you display Old Glory, it should be on the left. And if you hang Old Glory, the Union should always be in the upper left-hand corner, the blue. So whether it's vertical or horizontal, blue up in the upper left. That's why you see the flag back here is going to be on this side of the screen for that very reason. She puts the Palestine flag on the left. So that should tell you everything. It's no longer, I don't support Israel's efforts. It's, I'm going to side with her enemies. And it's over for you. Nobody likes you. Nobody wants them around. Not their own people, and not of any of the civilized Arab world, Muslim Arab world, including Saudi Arabia. Man, that prince is cool, dude. He ain't so bad. He ain't so bad, is he? We've had a time over there in the Middle East, and that's coming to an end. This administration says we are not going to tell you what to do. We're not going to tell you. We're not going to try and bribe you into living the way we want you to live. That is over. And what a beautiful sentiment after all the BS that we've put ourselves through, not just them. Things are changing over there, y'all. And the Jews aren't going anywhere. So, yes, teach Palestinians some Kung Fu so they can be there before Hamas even takes it. They need some Kung Fu. I just don't like the whole helpless thing. But when you're butchered in the street, or someone's butchered in the street all the time, it's going to have an effect on the people. So yeah, Israel's back. You know what that means? Free Palestine. It's finally happened. We're going to free the rest of Palestine and make it what it's supposed to be. It's the coming kingdom, of Israel. That's what we're building, and this is the time. I tell my Christian friends all the time, you know, cleave as close to God as you can possibly get. Read your Torah. Read the law anyway. Just do it. Just get with it. Get with it. You're going to have to get with Israel and with her texts. They're not dead. They weren't done away with. They do pertain to you. Okay, they really do. They've been in your hands for 500 years that you could read, my Christian brother and sister, and the rest are always lords and ladies and the people who can't read, nuns and monks. Nobody else could, you couldn't pass it down. Now we have that. Now we have an advantage for the first time in history. The Christian has full, unfettered, well, with technology, unfettered access to His word from its original language. And we haven't had that as Christian folks, or I hadn't. I still have my little New Testament and Psalms that they give you. I was 3 years old, and when you open up inside, I drew Kiss. It was like 3 or 4. There's Kiss faces on it. That's what I was drawing in church when they tells you where my head is. I've still got my King James and whatnot, but really when you go to a Hebrew translation, and there are several, they're different, but because a translation is an opinion. So if buying a different Chumash, you're looking at a different website, which I'll be getting to after going through Deuteronomy this year. We're going to move on to another website, possibly another study that contains the Torah from a Torah translation that's worthy, that's acceptable. You're getting a different commentary. So to know that there are so many voices throughout history that have had a commentary, that have been able to, it's the same text for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, now thousands of years. We are an advantage as people in the world. You don't have to be a Christian to see it. But I know I'm not gonna try and make you not Christian. Although if you are interested in the 7 laws, and I would love to talk to you. I'm not here to convert you. I want you to be a good Christian. Okay, I would rather see churches full. I work in a little town here in Kansas. Man, on Sunday it's quiet and the churches are full. That's neat, because when I lived in the city down in Oklahoma, that wasn't always the case. And it broke my heart to see these ones that were, really pretty buildings, and there were people who had gatherings every Sunday, and it takes several churches to fill them up just to be able to keep the lights on, and that's a real shame. So I'm not trying to convert my Christian friends, but I am telling you need to get straight with Israel, because now's the time, and you have an advantage over the world, because you've been given, even a poor translation, you've been given the Word of God. It's a bestseller. It's everywhere. Those Gideons, man, they are Bible happy people, man. They will put that Gideon Bible in every drawer at every motel, coast to coast, free of charge. So get with it. What else do I want to talk about? Oh yeah, the big question of the day. I've even asked the question of the day. We haven't done memes of the week yet. We'll do a meme of the week. We'll do a meme of the week. These are heady memes. These are memes you have to read. I just have a few. Going up this week, and hopefully we're going to get some public domain music I can play in the background while we see them. But this is the kind of meme that has me rolling on the floor laughing. It really does. This one too. This one's good, and it's a fact as well. And finally, one you have to read a lot. Oops, let's get you out of the way. Get everybody out of the way. Nope, not that one. This one. Yeah, to all my communist viewers, yay! Good for you. Good for you. Go away. Go away. All right. And of course, this meme right here, which is quite a stunning meme. Memes are a great way of getting a big point across simply and directly. Just a few words, one picture. Okay, a good meme doesn't need to be doesn't need to be a film, doesn't need to be a GIF. I don't consider comics strips necessarily memes, because it's a commentary on something, and it's a little bit different. Strips and cartoons should, in my opinion, are their own art. And memeing is just, I can't say it. Can I say shit posting on this? Oh, it's Rumble. Yes, I can say shit posting. Yes, I'm a shit poster. Yeah, adults only, please. Okay. Question of the day. Comment down below. I want to know what you have to think about this. If you can't come in live, that's fine. We do get viewers. They just come in a little later, usually after Shabbos. But comment down below what you think. Can one forgive God? First off, I got to pop top on my delicious RC Cola. No, I did not say a prayer. Well, I am. It's not exactly kosher, but it's not exactly unkosher. Here we are. Okay. Can one forgive God? I've still had something bugging me that happened a couple of years back. I'm not going to get into it. It seems like ages ago, really. But I still harbor a lot of negative feelings. It actually can get me upset, where I notice, like hot flash. I don't know hot flash is the right word, but yeah, you flash red and might even perspire and heart rate goes up. And and you want to get mad. You want to get it's what I call a physical anger when you know better, but you're mad. And I don't like that. It takes a lot out of me. So I have to learn to suppress that kind of stuff. But I still had these negative thoughts that would come in and disrupt sometimes. Okay. Now, with this said, I have to be quick to forgive, at least to so you can move on. I got away from the forgiveness thing, the constant need for forgiveness of Christianity when I stopped going to church and did my own thing for a while. The need to constantly be forgiven because it wasn't necessarily a thing in Judaism. You always have to remember you need to be forgiven. So forgiveness, I didn't ask for it, and I don't expect it, but I still get it. So perhaps I should. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking to myself, while I'm driving down the road today, now I really got to let this go. I mean, I can't even blame him. God's in charge of all this stuff. Yeah, why don't you forgive him? But I was saying this out loud as I'm like eulogizing to myself driving down the road, hoping people will think I have a Bluetooth in me and not crazy. But yeah, and I was like, forgive God. And whoa, wait a second. And the whole thing just blew up into a whole different rabbit hole. But I'd like to know if God can be forgiven. Was it God that hurt you? Was it you or was it somebody else? Because there is, God does harden hearts, but there is free choice. Can one truly is it even a possibility that one can forgive God? Truly. Is the life God puts before you, the path he lays for you, is it not for your benefit? Isn't that what the elements? Isn't that what all life, everything around you is for your benefit, for you to benefit from it? So the pain right now in history is for our benefit. So has he done you wrong? I'm not saying you can't be angry with what, or just, I don't understand. And, a lot of times God will humble my happy self real quick when I ask him. And sometimes sometimes it takes, and the answer comes, but even when I'm angry, I can, what the heck, Lord? But like, can I forgive him? Is it possible? But I would be curious to hear your thoughts. I don't know. Perhaps we can forgive God and should if we feel that, if we feel that we should, God, that really hurt, but I forgive you. Wouldn't that imply that God did something wrong? Wouldn't it? I forgive. See, is it even possible to forgive God? Question of the week. I used to do them all the time. I don't do them anymore, but Question of the week. Here's Rosalie. We're gonna get her in this room here, and hopefully we got our microphones and all of our implements of destruction ready to go. Rosalie, welcome back.
Hi,
Hi.
sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
Goofy day. It's getting to be like a full moon.
Oh boy.
Yep, I've been forgotten all day. So it's like, all right. So I was late for work and forgotten. And it's like, we got to do some shopping. Okay. Late for here. It's like, yeah, it's a big almost full moon, too.
Yeah. So I'll ask you the question of the day, which I was just talking about. I hope you haven't been waiting long.
About
I've been here
5 minutes.
Oh well.
That's
I'll
okay.
ask you. I'll ask you the question: Can one forgive God? Is it possible?
Um, it should be.
Yeah. Huh.
It's a matter of choice. But you should be able to forgive God. Because God put you in the place where you are to begin with. God is everywhere and omnipotent and the source of everything, good, bad, whatever. Who the hell are you to not forgive God or to be harsh with him?
Hmm. Yeah. Just something I was wondering.
Hmm.
But oh, before we get into Parsha, one musing I noticed is I started just sometimes I'll just type Judaism in a topic and see where it takes me. And I tell you, um, don't go to Rabbi Google, go to Rabbi DuckDuckGo. The the amount of colors, the amount of different, and it's you're going to find a lot of different stuff there. Chabad's still present, Aisha's still there. It's not like that, but there's a lot more to look at. There's a lot more going on the web than you're going to get out of Google. It's like the results we're getting from Google are like uh,
Hmm.
they're not there. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, try DuckDuckGo, and if you're searching for something in Judaism, it's something I started doing the past few days, and wow,
Well, if
you
you
get some.
or if you really want, Behemet, Rabbi Reuben's site, they have an AI rabbi.
No way.
Yep, they do. They have AI rabbi, and it's like it's there's a little fee to it, but they do have one.
Oh, that is something else.
Yep. So if you need a question answered, whatever, you know, there's that too.
Hmm.
Was it
Oh,
B
that's something I want to go
B
play
E
with now.
H E M E T
Ooh.
Behemet.org? I think that's what it is. I can't remember right offhand, but yeah, he has one, and it's been up for a few months, and it's been doing really good.
Incredible. Incredible.
Okay.
Rosalie got the link here. We're going to make it a public message. In the chat, you'll see of course the studio rumble to chat over here.
Hmm.
Um, if you're watching live and you want to join the conversation, which you are welcome to, just have some good cheer and a nice attitude, and we can debate, we can talk. Um, Would love to have you here. It's always an open door.
Yep. Did you do meme of the week yet?
Yeah, you want to see him?
Yeah.
Um, okay, it's just a couple. I only had a few today. Um,
Two the same, huh?
yes, get it? Okay, okay. Here we go. If you
Because of
repeat a lie often
Palestine.
enough, it becomes Palestine.
I like that.
uh,
That's good.
I brought this one up just because I thought it was relevant, just to remind
Hmm.
everybody, what we're dealing with here and why. It was Gaza Aliyah Gaza, Aliyah Gaza. I could do a. I was thinking like a promotion thing. Yay, Israel returning to Gaza, where she belongs,
Hmm.
side by side with her Arab cousins. I don't see brothers and sisters really. So that's really it. Oh, and a pro freedom meme.
Yep.
I love Tom and Jerry. So
I
just
do
a
too.
couple, for the week. Um, but yeah, about to move over to Parsha.
Okay. If I cat, no, no.
Yeah, Vayet Kanan. Vayet, yeah, Vayet Kanan. Yeah,
Yep. That's what
Vayet
he said.
Kanan. Uh, it's this week's Torah portion is in Deuteronomy. It's Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 23. Wow, microphone. Keep hitting that mic. That's loud.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So,
Well,
if
it's
you
a
if you're
long one.
if you're turning, yes, it is. If you're tuning in for the first time or you're unfamiliar with what we're doing here, this is a yearly schedule that was put up by our rabbis um, centuries ago, and every week every year we cycle through it. There's a weekly reading. This is the weekly
Yep.
reading for this week on This Week in Torah.
Yeah, it was a
Hello, Catherine
323
Marie.
through. Hi, Catherine. Goes 323 to chapter 7, verse 11. It's
Shut
a
the door,
long one.
sweetie. I had a friend of mine. She likes to talk, Bible and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Not a friend of mine, but a colleague friend, whatever. Yeah. Talking about the servant that he was the suffering servant was brought up. Yes, yes,
Oh,
and
yeah,
very
53 and 43. Yep.
yeah. So I mean, the Parsha just came out that she would bring it up this week, and I gave her I think I want to say it's like 9 or 10 places in Isaiah where the Savior is named my Savior, his Savior
Mm-hmm.
is brought up. But then I open up the Parsha this week in chapter 3, verse 23. This is Moses speaking the final um, lecture, the final message, his final speech to Israel as they cross, and he's talking about what's been happening. Deuteronomy is Mishnah. It's a repetition. It's like kind of taking all the practical stuff out of the the first 4 books, and he's given the rest of it with little details. I entreated God at that time, saying, God, you took the initiative to show your servant your magnanimity, yeah, and your strong hand. For who is like you, God in heaven or on earth, who can match your deeds and your might? Please let me cross over and see the good land that is on the west side of the Jordan River, including the good mountain and the temple, which is called the Lebanon. But God became angry with me because of my improper response to you, talking to the people, and he did not heed me. God said to me, this suffices for you. Speak to me no more regarding this matter. Ascend to the peak of Mount Nebo and lift up your eyes westward, northward, southward, and eastward, and see it with your own eyes, for you will not cross this Jordan River. Commanded Joshua not to be fazed by the people, strengthen him and encourage him, for he will cross over the river before this people, and he will apportion to them the land that you will see. And we remained in the valley opposite Beit Peor, which is that not Moab?
Not
No.
sure. Not sure. Might be something in the commentary, but I'm not sure.
See now, Israel, listen to the rules and ordinances that I am teaching you to observe, in order that you may live and enter and take possession of the land that God of your forefathers, is giving you. Do not add anything to what I command you, nor subtract from it, in order to observe the commandments of God your God that I am commanding you.
Hmm.
You have seen with your own eyes that God what God did in the incident at Baal Peor, how God, your God, exterminated from your midst every individual who followed Baal Peor. All of you who are alive today are attached to God, your God.
That's right.
And I wanted to just hear in that, I think it was the book of John, where John even, and John's got some crazy ideas, but even he says that Jesus says that how do you get eternal life? You keep his commandments, you keep his statutes. It is not difficult to keep. So that's why I tell my Christian friends, learn more,
Hmm.
enrich your religion with a little Hebrew. It's going to come in real handy soon. I
Hmm.
swear. I'm just trying to help y'all out.
I went and got some language transition headphones. I mean earbuds. I ordered a pair. Got a
Really?
hundred and got 100 or 140 languages on it, and Hebrew is one of them.
Oh, wow.
I got them basically for work, so if somebody speaks to me in Spanish, I'll know what they're saying.
The Babel fish.
Hmm. Pretty
That
much.
is too cool.
So I know this way too. If I hear it in Hebrew, I'll hear what the Hebrew has to say in the English before the translation too. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Sounds awesome. All right, second portion. There we go. Devarim chapter 4, verse 5. Look, as God, my God, commanded me to, I have taught you rules and ordinances to abide by in the land that you are entering in order to possess. You must safeguard and perform them, for that is what will assist you. That, for that is what will attest to your wisdom and your understanding in the eyes of other peoples, who will hear all these rules and say, oh, only this great nation is such a wise and understanding people. For what great nation is there that has a God as near to it as God, our God, is to us whenever we call upon him? And what great nation is there that has rules and ordinances as just as the Torah, as this entire Torah which I am setting before you today? Just be wary and guard yourself carefully, lest you forget the things that you saw with your own eyes, and lest these things depart from your heart all the days of your life, and you must impart them as well as to your children and to your children's children, namely the day you stood before God your God at Mount Horeb, when God said to me, assemble the people for me. I will let them hear my words, in order that they learn to revere me all the days that they live on the earth. Excuse me. And in order that they teach their children to revere me as well. If you're following along on a different translation, I'm on Chabad, which has the direct translation in bold. If you're on the link that I put here in the description, the bold is what's from the Hebrew, and like I say, every translation is commentary. They kind of fill in the blanks as to how it's looked at elsewhere as well. They don't just make it up. It's based in Judaism. It's just this is how they look at it, and it's fine. You approached and stood at the foot of the mountain. The mountain burned with fire that rose up to the midst of heaven, and it was enveloped by a darkness, a normal cloud, and a thick cloud. God spoke to you out of the midst of the fire. You heard the sound of the words, but saw no image. You only heard God's voice. He told you the terms of his covenant that he commanded you to observe, summarizing it in the 10 Commandments, and he inscribed them into 2 stone tablets. God commanded me at that time to teach you the rules and ordinances so that you should perform them in the land into which you are crossing in order to possess. And you'll notice this language is how Jews hear God today. They hear the commandment as if they themselves were at Sinai. Moses is kind of setting a precedent here that's been going on 3,500 years, roughly, give or take. All right, where are we going here? Be
16.
careful. Be careful lest you become corrupt and make a sculpted image for yourselves, the representation of any form, whether it be the likeness of a male or a female person, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the sky, the likeness of anything that crawls on the ground, or the likeness of any fish that is in the water lower than the earth surrounding it. Be careful lest you lift up your eyes toward heaven and see the sun, the moon, the stars, or all the hosts of heaven, which God your God appointed to give you light to all people who dwell under the entire heaven, and be lured to prostrate yourselves before them and worship them. God took you and brought you out of the iron crucible, out of Egypt, to become a people whom we can call his heritage, as you are today. God became angry with me because of you, and he swore that I would neither cross the Jordan nor enter the good land that God your God is giving you as an inheritance. For I must die in this land. I will not cross the Jordan River. You, however, will cross it, and you will take possession of this good land. Well, I'll put the microphone down here. That might sound better. Um, Beware lest you forget the covenant of God your God that he made with you, and make for yourselves a sculptured image, the likeness of anything which God your God has forbidden you to do. For God your God is a consuming fire. He is a zealous God. When you have children and grandchildren, and are long established in the land, and you become corrupt and make a sculpted image, the likeness of anything, and do evil in the eyes of God your God, provoking him to anger by worshiping it, I invoke heaven and earth today as witness against you, that you will speedily and utterly perish from the land into which you are crossing the Jordan River to possess. You will not endure it, but will be utterly destroyed. So the heaven and earth are witnesses to the behavior of Israel in the land. And God will ask them what they saw. And they get it. That's a big eye. That's a real big eye, because heaven doesn't stop. Neither does the earth. God will scatter you among the peoples, and you will remain few in number among the nations, to where God will lead you. As slaves to idol worshippers, it will be as though you will be worshiping their deities, man's handiwork, wood and stone, that cannot see, hear, eat, or smell. You will eventually seek God, your God, from there, and you will find him if you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul. When you are distressed, and these things happen to you in the land, at the end of the days of your exile, you will return to God, your God, and obey him. For God, your God, is a merciful God. He will not loosen his hold on you, nor destroy you. Neither will he forget the covenant of your forefathers, which he swore to them. You need only inquire regarding the early days that preceded you, since the day that God created humanity on the earth, and from one end of heaven to the other, whether there was ever anything like this great phenomenon, or was the likes of it ever heard. Did a people ever hear God's voice speaking out of the midst of the fire, as you have heard, and remain alive? Or has any God miraculously come and taken for himself a nation from the midst of a nation, with trials, signs, marvels, war, a mighty hand, an outstretched arm, or great manifestations of his presence, as all that God your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? You were, excuse me. It's just it's a little colder outside. There's something the AC on. I don't know. From heaven, he made you. He made you hear his voice to instruct you upon the earth. He showed you his great fire, and you heard his words issuing out of the midst of the fire. Because he loved your forefathers and chose their seed after him, he took you out of Egypt in front of him with his great strength, in order to drive out from before you nations greater and stronger than you, to bring you to their land and give you their land as an inheritance, as you see today. You must know today and consider in your heart that God is the only God in heaven, above on earth, below. There is nothing else. Nothing else but God.
Mm-hmm.
And there is nothing to compare with God. God is God. God is
Mm-hmm.
one. One. One God. That's it. That's all you
Mm-hmm.
need.
That's right.
Uh,
No human form, no stone form, no wooden form, nothing.
You must observe his rules and his commandments that I am commanding you today, so that it may go well with you and your children after you, and so that you may endure in the land that God your God is giving to you forever. Don't need to threaten with hell. You don't need to threaten eternal damnation,
Mm-hmm.
outer darkness, whatever. Why am I commanding you to do this? So that it will go well for you and your children.
That's
It's
right.
practical.
And that you may endure in the land that God, your God, is giving you forever.
Forever.
Means
Ooh.
don't give none of it away. Palestine
Did
don't
God
need none.
did God really mean that? I mean, okay, I'm
Yes.
I'm, I'm being funny, by the way.
Okay.
Is that funny? That's
Okay.
ho. Okay. I am not going to be able to read this all. Um,
My turn.
I don't know if we'll get through it before Haftorah.
Well, let's just say,
All right.
okay, how about highlights?
Okay. Let's
Because
see.
we already know what they did.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
These the testaments, rules, and ordinances that God spoke to the Israelites when they went out of Egypt on the east side of the Jordan River in the valley opposite Beit Peor in the land of King Sichon of the Amorites who dwelt in Hezbon. Moses, the Israelites smote after they went out of Egypt. They took possession. Okay. Hear, Israel, the rules and ordinances that I speak in your ears today. Study them and safeguard them by learning how to perform them properly. That's the thing that Ben Noach need to do. That's why the law is so
Mm-hmm.
important. Well, you got to study and safeguard, but you have to know what they are first. God, our God, made a covenant with us at Mount Horeb, not with our forefathers did God make this covenant, but with us, we, those who are here today, all of us who are alive. That's
That
when,
includes us as well.
yeah, yes. That this is what this is saying, that the covenant that began with Adam and established with Noah for all human beings, this is a special covenant. This is different. And this is for Israel and those with him, the congregation of Jacob, the whole congregation of Israel, you might call it. It's named in here. We're everybody. This is everybody. This is the Ger Toshav and the servants and the slaves and everybody. This is what Moses is speaking to them. God spoke with you at the mountain face to face out of the midst of the fire. I stood between God and you that at that time in order to tell you the word of God. You were afraid of the fire and you did not want to ascend the mountain, saying, I am God, your God, who took you out of Egypt, out of the house of slaves. You must not possess any idols of other people's deities as long as I exist, wherever I may be. You
That
must
means
not
forever.
make, yes, you must not make for yourselves a sculptured image or any other type of likeness of anything that is in heaven above, on the earth below, or in the waters beneath the earth. You must neither you must neither prostrate, where did I get that? You must neither prostrate yourself before them nor worship them, for I, God, your God, am a zealous God in this regard. For those who hate me and worship idols, I am a God who remembers the premeditated sins of the fathers, adding their demerits to those of their descendants up to the third and the fourth generation. Visit the iniquity of the sin. The sin is so great, you will affect. It will go. It's like you have child and grandchild. Rabbi Singer was talking about this. You have,
Hmm.
usually child and grandchild get to meet, they get to know each other. But then by the time the next generation comes along, the grandparent usually passes on. That's the effect that this is. That's the effect that this has.
Hmm.
All right. But in contrast, I am a God who shows kindness for at least 2,000 generations to the descendants of those who love me and of those who observe my commandments. You must not swear by the name of God, your God, in vain, for God will not absolve anyone who swears by his name in vain. That is blasphemy. And that's cursing God. Observe the Sabbath day, keep it holy, as God your God commanded you. That's the Jewish people, not all of us.
Hmm.
6 days you must labor and do all your work. The seventh day is a Sabbath dedicated to God your God. You must not do any work, neither you nor son, your daughter, your bondman or bondswoman, your work bull, your donkey, any of your domestic animals, or the resident alien. Look at all the words they say to say
Hmm.
Ger Toshav. The resident alien who is permitted to live within your gates in order that your bondsman and bondswoman rest like you. You must remember that you were a slave in Egypt and that God your God took you out from there with a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm. Therefore, God your God commanded you to observe the Sabbath day. Honor your father and mother as God your God commanded you, in order that your days be lengthened and it will go well with you in the land that God your God is giving you. You must not murder. You must not commit adultery. You must not steal people, i.e., kidnap. You must not bear false witness against your fellow. That's a form of murder in many
Hmm.
ways. You must not desire your fellow's wife, nor may you crave your fellow's house, his field, his bondsman, his bondswoman, his work bull, his donkey, or anything else that belongs to your fellow. And really, all the other laws that come after the 10 it really are just to make sure that you keep the 10. It's how a nation keeps those 10 commandments, and that sort of thing. Rosalie, I'm going to hand the mic over to you. Read whatever you'd like to read. You want to highlight anything else?
Well,
Whatever
I'm
you want
trying
to
to
do.
think. We've already done this. Do-do-do-do-do. Actually, let's go on down to the third portion. Let's see. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. All right. We're going to go down to chapter 6, and we're going to start in there because there's some good stuff in this.
Okay.
The following are the commandments, the rules, and the ordinances of God, your God, has commanded me to teach you, in order that you be able to perform them in the land into which you are about to pass in order to possess it, and in order that you respect God, your God, enough to keep all his rules and his commandments that I command to you, you, your children, and grandchildren, all the days of your life, and in order that your days may be lengthened. So hearken, Israel, and safeguard these commandments by learning how to perform them properly, in order that it go well for you and that you increase exceedingly, just as God, your God of your forefathers, spoke concerning you. You follow the rules, this is what's going to happen. He's going to bless the hell out of you. You're going to have all that you need, etc., 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 as long as you follow what he said. A land flowing with milk and date and fig honey. Now, this is one of my favorites right here. This is called the Shema prayer. Hear, O Israel, God is presently our only God, but the rest of humanity will eventually acknowledge God as the one and only true deity. Hear, O Israel, Hashem, your God, is our God. You must love God, your God, with all your heart and with all your very soul and with all your material means. Keep these words I command you today upon your heart. You must learn the Torah for the sake of your students. You must discuss them while you are sitting in your house and when you are walking on the way. They must be your last concern when you lay down to sleep at night and your first concern when you wake up in the morning. You must bind them as a sign upon your arm, and they must act as a reminder on your forehead, tefillin, above the point between your eyes. You must inscribe them upon a parchment and place the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. When God your God brings, and that's the end of the Shema prayer, basically. When God your God brings you to the land that he swore to you, to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give to you, and you will benefit from the great and good cities that you did not build, houses full of good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, and vineyards and olive trees that you did not plant, and you will eat and be satiated. Beware lest you forget God who took you out of Egypt, out of the house where you were slaves. You must revere your God, your God. You must worship him. You must swear only by his name. Do not follow other people's deities, especially the deities of people who are around you. For your God, for God your God is a zealous God is among you. Take care lest the wrath of God your God be kindled against you, and he annihilate you from the face of the earth. You must not test God your God as you tested him at Massa and Meribah. Diligently safeguard the commandments of a God, your God, his testimonies, and his rules, which he has commanded you. You must do what is proper and good in the eyes of God, in order that it will go well with you, and that you come and take possession of the good land that God swore to you, to your forefathers, in order to drive out all your enemies from before you, as God has spoken. So that applies to right now, too.
Mm-hmm.
If your child asks you at some point in the future, saying, "What is the basis for the testimonies, rules, and ordinances that God our God has commanded you?" You must say to your child, "We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, and God took us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. God afflicted Egypt, Pharaoh, and all of his household with great and terrible signs and marvels before our eyes. He took us out of there in order that he might bring us into our land and give us the land that he swore to our forefathers. He commanded us to fulfill all these rules, to cultivate respect for God, our God, for our good all the days, and to keep us alive as we are today. It will be for our merit that we safeguard these rules by studying how to perform them properly in order to observe all these commandments before God, our God, as he has commanded us." When
They
God,
kind
your
of get.
God, huh? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say they seem to get long-winded um, on the Shema. Um,
Well, it's
Hear
4
Israel,
through.
God, your God, the Lord is one. Is
Mhm.
pretty much, and it's like, and what that means, and it's what I heard Doreen Dutan saying. It was like the Lord is one. In other words, everything that's worship, you're trying to get to the source. No matter
Mhm.
how no matter how you make your idols or whatever, and at one day, yes, it will be, but it's Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one. That was
Yep.
a pretty simple way to say, and they kind of added in a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, wow, that was long
Well,
winded.
it was based on this section between 4 and 9.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's been shortened up and tidied
Yeah.
up a little bit
Okay. All
because,
right.
like I said, when before this translation came out, it was correct. It was like what the prayer is like. When this translation came up and screwed it all up.
Another perspective, another perspective to
Yep.
learn.
Okay, shall I continue?
Sure.
Okay, we are in chapter 7, verse 1. When
The
God your
final.
God brings you to the land that you are entering in order to possess, he will cast out many nations from before you: the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations more numerous and powerful than you. God your God will deliver them to you, and you must smite them. You must utterly destroy them. You must neither make a covenant with them nor be gracious to them. Pay attention, Hamas. Pay attention, ISIS. Pay attention, Hezbollah, and everybody else. This is happening today. Same with you. Same with the guy. Same with the Palestinians. You better be careful.
Mm-hmm.
No government, and not to be gracious with them. That's what's being said right now, and people are calling people Nazis because of this. And it's right here because people don't know their Bible. You must not intermarry with them. You must not give your daughter to a son of theirs, and you must not take a daughter of theirs for your son. For your daughter's husband will turn away your grandchild from following me, and they will worship other people's deities. The wrath of God will be kindled against you, and he will quickly destroy you. Rather, thus you must do to them. You must demolish their multi stone altars, smash their one stone pedestals, excuse me, cut down their deified trees, and burn their sculpted images in fire. For you are a holy people, consecrated to God, your God. God, your God, has chosen you to be his treasured people out of all the peoples of the earth. God did not delight in you and choose you because you are more numerous than any other people, for you are the least numerous of all peoples.
Still,
But rather,
it's getting to us both.
well, ours is a smoky air from the Canadian fires,
Mm.
basically.
Yeah,
Still. Okay. Rather, it was because of God's love for you and because he kept the oath he swore to your forefathers that God took you with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of slaves from the hand of Pharaoh and king of Egypt. You must know that God, your God, is God, the faithful God. He will keep the covenant and bestow all the kindness he promised upon those who love him and to those who keep his commandments for 1,000 generations. He recompenses those who hate him while they are alive. That means you can look at a lot of rich people and God's paying them off now so he doesn't have to deal with them in eternity.
Hmm.
That's one way of looking at it. He does not delay in rewarding one who hates him. He recompenses him while he is alive. That's something to chew on. It's
Mm-hmm.
something to chew on. It's like, yeah, let's win the lottery. If I win the lottery, this is going to be this way and this way. It's like, you don't want to win that lottery because that's all you might have left. You won't have
Mm.
anything. You won't have anything for the afterlife.
Huh.
God paid you off so he didn't have to deal with you in the afterlife. He's done and over with you. You must observe the commandments, the rules, and ordinances that I command you today to do. You must know that God, your God, is faithful God. He will keep the covenant and bestow all the kindness he promised upon those who love him. And to keep, oh, that's the mouth. I just
That's the
read
mouth
that.
too. Yep.
Okay.
Thus
Ta-da!
ends the Parsha. Ta-da!
Ta-da! You want me to read the half Torah too, or you want to start and keep?
Yeah, we can. I think I can do it with God's help.
If not, I can still do it. I don't care. It's up to you.
Isaiah, Yeshayahu,
Yeah.
chapter
Yes.
40
Yeah.
is. And if you're following along for the first time, the Haftorah is a section of the Hebrew Bible directly pertaining to what we read today in the Torah portion, but is not from the Torah itself, which is why we're in Isaiah. Chapter 40. Console, console my people, says your God. Speak to the heart of Jerusalem and call to her, for she has become full from her host. For her iniquity has been appeased, for she has taken from the hand of the Lord double for all her sins. A voice calls, in the desert, clear the way of the Lord. Straighten out in the wilderness a highway for our God. Every valley, every mountain and hill shall be lowered, and the crooked terrain shall become a plain, and the close mountains a champaign.
I know. That threw me too.
And the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all the flesh together shall see that the mouth of the Lord spoke, a voice says, Call. And it says, What shall I call? All flesh is grass, and all its kindness is like the bosom of the field. The grass shall dry out. What did I say? Bosom? Oh.
Yep.
All flesh is grass, and all its kindness is like the blossom of the field. The grass shall dry out, the blossom shall wilt, for a wind from the Lord has blown upon it. Behold, the people is grass. The grass shall dry out, the blossom shall wilt, but the word of our God shall last forever.
Yep.
Upon did I read that? No, I did not.
No. You read no. It was similar,
Okay.
but yeah, verse 8 is very well known. I mean, yeah, line 8 is very well known.
Upon a lofty mountain ascend, O herald of Zion. Raise your voice with strength, O herald of Jerusalem. Raise your voice, fear not. Say to the cities of Judah, Behold your God. Behold, the Lord God shall come with a strong hand, and his arm rules for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his recompense is before him. Like a shepherd who tends his flock, with his arm he gathers lambs, and in his bosom he carries them, the nursing ones he leads. Who measured water with his gate, and measured the heavens with his span, and measured by thirds the dust of the earth, the weighed mountains with a scale and hills with a balance. Who metered the Spirit of the Lord, and his adviser who informs him? With whom did he take counsel, give him to understand, and teach him in the way of justice, and teach him knowledge? In the way of understanding did he let them know? Behold, the nations are like a drop from a bucket, and like dust on a balance they are counted. Behold, the sands are like fine dust that blows away. And the Lebanon there is not enough to burn, and its beasts there is not enough for burnt offerings. All the nations are as naught before him, as things of naught and vanity are they regarded by him. And to whom do you compare God? And what likeness do you arrange for him? The graven image the craftsman has smelted, and the smith plates it with gold, and chains of silver he attaches. He who is accustomed to select chooses a tree that does not rot. He seeks for himself a skilled craftsman to prepare a graven image which will not move. Do you not know? Have you not heard? Has it not been told to you from the beginning? Do you not understand the foundations of the earth? It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and whose inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out the heaven like a curtain, and he spread them out like a tent to dwell. Who brings princes to naught, judges of the land he made like a thing of naught, even as though they were not planted, even as though they were not sown, even as though their trunk was not rooted in the earth. And also he blew on them, and they dried up, and the tempest shall carry them away like straw. Now to whom will you compare me, that I should be equal, says the Holy One? Lift up your eyes on high and see who created these, who takes out their host by number. All of them he calls by name, because of his great might, and because he is strong in power, no one is missing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, ends this week's Haftarah.
Mm-hmm. I like that. He calls them by name, and no one is missing. That's one hell of a memory.
Yeah. So that's you and I, boys and girls,
Mm-hmm.
no matter who you are.
Past, present, and future.
We just have an opportunity, and we've been. I know the missionaries have been saying this. The end times are near. The end times are near, and what a whole lot going on. But what we're seeing now, and what's coming out of the prophets and the Torah, and just with your own very eyes, it's a miracle that Israel is, you know, coming home to Gaza. Gaza Aliyah, Aliyah Gaza. See, that's you need marketing. Israel needs some marketing over there. That's what you do. That's something you make a shirt out of it. Give it to Gazans
Yeah.
for free.
This one gets me all the time. It's
What's
like
that?
verse 7. It's what is it? They go up to there. It says, um, the grass shall the grass shall dry out, the blossom shall wilt, the wind from the Lord has blown upon it. The people, behold, the people is grass. Every blade of grass has an angel encouraging it to grow.
That's right.
Can you imagine that? If the grass dries out and the blossoms and the wind, behold, the people is grass, he's going to blow them out. You know, kill the angels, no more. You kill the angel for the blade of grass, there is no grass to grow.
And that one blade of grass blows. Let the Lord willing it happen. That's
Yeah,
one heck
that
of us.
just yeah, that's something to chew on for a minute.
Yeah, it is. In fact, that's something to
Yeah,
chew on for Shabbat.
yeah,
You ready to wrap up the live portion of this little broadcast?
sure.
Actually, it's the only portion you can end in the broadcast. Thank you for tuning into the Nexus. We appreciate you watching. I would love to have you stop by Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central, right here at Rumble. We'll also be broadcasting, God willing. We'll still be on YouTube and on Twitter or X, and the Orphans of Abraham on Facebook. For everyone out there, thank you again, and Shabbat Shalom, y'all. Be well.
Shabbat shalom.